Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's stream. We are playing ourselves some Planet Coaster. Let's switch over to the right screen, shall we? The screen size is all wrong. That's not good. If I do this... Nope, that hasn't fixed it at all. Right, and I'm dropping frames. Oh dear. That's also not good. Right, let's first of all fix the game capture. There we go. Transform, fit to screen. It does this stupid thing sometimes where it just... I mean, this is apparently fitting the screen. I can change the size like that. I could do it manually. What's the bloody point of that? Because as soon as I go back into the game, it'll probably go out of shape again. Or is it going to work? Oh, it's going to work. I think. Give or take. Maybe. We'll try it for now, and we'll see how we get on. We are dropping frames by the buttload at the moment. I think that might be because of how far zoomed out we were. Oh no, we are struggling a little bit with the KB. Let me change that. Ay ay ay. I had 2 streams in a row with no technical problems, and I actually thought that we were going to be doing alright. Let's lower this to 4,000. There we go. Now we're green all the way. While we're here, I'm going to have another crack at doing this. Turn you off, turn you on again. Switch to this for a second, and then we'll switch back. No, it wants to be weird. Okay, you be weird then. You be weird, you do you. We're here in Planet Coaster anyway. And after last stream, I figured why not have a look at some of the other terraforming options that I had available in terms of terrain colours. And actually, this was the result, and I think this looks pretty damn good for a western town. If you ask me, I think that looks really good indeed. I've also noticed that we do have a period, quite a long period actually here, where there's no trains waiting in the station of Manic Miner. So the way to fix that is to add an extra train. And probably have to increase this to 30. There we go. And we'll see what that does. But yeah, hopefully I've still got the right colours. I've got rock here and I've got rock here. They're different types. The way that I've distinguished them is these are horizontal lines and these are vertical lines. That's pretty much the way that you can tell them apart. Same here, you've got the horizontal lines and then you've got the vertical lines. Except they're the wrong way around. There we go. So what's actually horizontal here is vertical here, and what's vertical here is horizontal here. I don't make the rules. That's all I'm going to say. I don't make the rules. Right, so this is looking really, really cool. But one thing we are missing from this at this moment in time, as I set some stuff up on the stream really quickly. Whoops. Just in case we get lots of chatter, it'd be nice to have Moobot doing its job. There we go. One thing that we need to consider before we go any further is the railway has to be able to come through here somewhere. Now, I envisage... I think I said this at the end of the last stream, actually. I think I said it. I can't remember now. I might have done. I might not have done. I envisage the railway coming around here and going into a tunnel. So it'll go through here, probably underneath this rickety old bridge that I'll be building, into a tunnel. The tunnel will take it just around the back here, maybe even in a curve shape. And there'll be some kind of diorama. We're going to go with the Disney style. It's not plagiarism. Can't accuse me of that, I hope. And then it'll come out the tunnel over here somewhere and curve around this way. And I mean, I think the station is actually going to go here. and then the track will have to go round here and maybe over there. Either that or we build a station at the back here, but I think that's a bit too far away from the main area. For me, it would be cool if we had a path that extended out this way underneath Bandito and then just had a station here, and then find a way of getting the track out of the other side here. It's doable. It's very, very much doable. The other option we have, of course, is if we build the station at ground level, it can then go underneath all of what we've got here, and then perhaps over the top of this section here, and then it's away. So we're going to look at doing that, because that is probably priority number one right now, is actually making that work. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to grab this, and then we're going to go edit track. Okay, the plan is to build the track in relatively big blocks. So I think if we curve this round like that, that's actually pretty damn good, I would say. Straighten you a little bit more of a curve. We'll switch auto tunnel on like this. Okay, and at this point you are going to straighten entirely. Wow, there's a lot of game lag as we do this. I don't even know what number that was. Oh dear. Right, that's on 0. That's fine. I think if I shorten the blocks at this point, it might make it more manageable. We don't know. There's a lot of terraforming going on here, so that will be one of the reasons why it's being very funny. Now, I quite like the idea of the railway interacting with Manic Miner. I don't think the track is the right gauge by the looks of it. That looks about the same as that, but the trains on this are much bigger, as you can see. But then you kind of expect that, because this is passenger carrying and the mine is supposedly just for coal. That's quite a big station, actually. Wasn't expecting it to be quite that size, because we've got to fit that over here. I mean, I think we can get one in and then have that curve around under there. We'll find out. We will find out. In the meantime, though, we do actually have to build the track. So let's just keep going along with this. Now, at this point, I would say we're in the tunnel, so we can start curving round. Perhaps not that steeply, actually. Do I want to worry about banking the track? I don't think so. I don't think so. The train goes 5 miles an hour. We're not going to be breaking the land speed record with this. Okay, so at this point, you go straight through all of this. We've got to make sure we don't go too far. There's the bell, Bandito, so that's working still. It's interesting, actually. I was reading about the I think it's called IAPA, they call it. It's the IAAPA, the International Amusement... Hang on, let me find out what IAAPA stands for again. International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions, that's the one. They announced, I think it's called the American Dream Mall, that's opening in New Jersey. There are 2 record-breaking coasters that are going in. One of which is a Eurofighter, which is going to have the new record for the steepest drop in the world. I'm assuming this is Takabisha, based on Takabisha, which is 121 degrees. The new one, well, they say it's going to at least equal the record. Someone needs to tell Intamin that, though, because they're claiming that their polar coaster, Skyscraper, which is being built in Orlando, I think, they're claiming that's going to have the record. So who's right and who's wrong? That's the big question. I suppose we're going to find out in time. Right, so we're about to emerge from the tunnel. The long tunnel, in fact, undo. We want a more gradual curve. Something like this. That's good. And then a little bit sharper here. Like that. And then we'll ease off again. Here. Now we are still underground at this point. Do we actually emerge here? We do. So there's a brief gap where you come out from underground and then you're back in a tunnel to go under this last little rocky section. And then I think I actually want it to come out up just above on like a land bridge. Like that. That's pretty good actually. Now, what angle do I want this station to be built at is the question. Really, I want it to be along that line there. So, like that. Exit to the right. Can you not auto tunnel? I mean, that's annoying. If you can't auto tunnel stations. So we're going to have to flatten this all to the foundation. Just ruined all the good hard work that we did over here. Sculpting all this land. We'll fix it again afterwards. Right. That should hopefully be enough. Have I not built it enough? I don't think I have. Oh, I have. I might have gone away with it. Exit to the right. Entrance to the... like so. We need to make it long enough to fit an 8-carriage train. And I can already see that we're going to hit some trouble. Need to ease this a little bit more, like that maybe. I suppose also what we should do here is slope this down a little bit too, like a tiny minute amount, like that. Supposed to be able to pass underneath this and then over this, so it'll be coming around here like that. I don't think we've got enough room here, you know. Which would be a little bit annoying. What would have been cool is if we could have worked backwards, but I don't think we can. I mean, we'll build this down still. We'll slope this down. I think we might have to go a little bit further back actually for this to work. Maybe here. Start sloping it down. Like 0.5 is fine for this, I would say. And then we need to straighten the track. Zoom in a little. There. Straighten you out. Like that. Keep building this along. Goes through there quite nicely. Again here I think I might actually slope it down a little bit more. I don't know if I could build the station on the slope or not. I'm not 100% sure I can. Right, the high point of the ride is here, so I need to be able to get the track underneath that. Which does mean turning this a little more. Like so. Right, I won't be able to build a station here. Especially as it wants me to level the track first. So I still think this needs to come down more. Maybe here, have it slope down instead of 0.5. There you go, that's basically 0.1. Not what, 0.1. Basically just 1. So like this, over the top of this. We got loads of room to maneuver here if need be. And then we should be able to... It's a bit like building Crossrail, this. Threading the eye of the needle. It's hard work. It is hard work indeed. We need to curve a little more. Something like that. And then we need a really short section. Is that the shortest I can build it? We need to level it out. Alright, let's try flattening the land. See some of the rocks that we buried previously are starting to come back out again. It's quite funny. Alright, we'll try this. We are going to have to remove this piece of track, I think. Might let us build it actually. No. Of course not. See, that's what I don't like. You should be able to just edit the terrain around the track. Alright. Short. Are you curving? You are. We want you to straighten for this, I think. Might want you to curve a little bit actually. Like this. Station. Exit to the right. Yeah, I mean, we got no chance of getting under there. We're going to have to go a lot lower. A lot lower. So I'm thinking we're going to have to start the downwards thing from somewhere like this. Probably that. God, now I can't see what I'm doing. Curve around like this, and then curve around fully, and then ease off. It's pretty much straight from here, I believe. Like that. Straight out. Still not enough. I can see from here, it's still not enough. Let me just come out of this again a second. The timing of Manic Miner is appalling right now. I'm going to put it on a 45-second timer because the train keeps stopping here and it's not supposed to. It's supposed to just go. Oh, I forgot to put some walls here as well. We're going to have to fix that. Right, edit track. So at this rate, this entire tunnel is going to have to be on an incline, which isn't a bad thing. It could work quite nicely. I mean, this won't just be a tunnel like this. This will all be decorated and stuff. You'll see what I mean. Hopefully by the end of this stream. We're going to build the diorama. Right, we want you to go down by... That should be enough. If it's not, then there's no hope. Whoops. There's no hope left in this world. Right, straighten you out. So it is a bit of a jump. You leave the station at Welcome Plaza, and you know, it's all like a fairy tale theme, and you go around one corner and suddenly you're plunged into this tunnel underneath a western area. It is a bit of a jump. I can understand why some people might have a bit of a struggle to adapt to the fact that they're suddenly in a really western themed area. Alright, this is quite an incline. This is also a tragedy, trying to operate the bloody camera whilst building. It's very dark in here, which fits perfectly with the idea of creating a diorama. Right, this is quite a long way down now, so I might level out here and see how this would look. And hopefully it still passes over the track here. Oh, it does. That's good. Let's say it's quite a jump. I'm going to turn this way a little bit, which should give us more room to build the platform. Let's come out a tiny bit like that. We're then going to go straight through all of this. Okay, and now here is the tricky bit, because we might end up having to rebuild some of the miner in order to get this to work. Because we have to go... I suppose one of the advantages is we could, if necessary, build the station that also goes over the track here, and then just reprofile this tunnel to line it all up again. That is perfectly doable. That still isn't working. 4 trains isn't enough. 5 trains seems to be too much. What is going on with that? Anyway, we want this to turn under here. And you go straight along this. And then here you need to go up a little bit. And I'm hoping it's not really enough, is it? It's not really enough. We'll have a look. Where's the nearest train? Here it comes. So over this, I press T. I had some weird camera problems there. Alright, so you come around here like this, up and over this, into the little airtime bit. Yeah, that's far too close. That's Decapitation Central right there. So the only alternative I can think is to lift this bit of Manic Miner's track up slightly, or lower this bit down slightly, which I think is going to be slightly easier to do. It shouldn't affect the overall... I mean, a steep slope out of a station isn't the most unrealistic thing in the world. Particularly as we've just spent quite a while sloping down. So I think if we leave it like that for now, and then here, I mean actually that might be, we'll check, that might be a good enough height. Just got to wait for a train to come round. I can hear one. I think we got away with that actually. That works. Now we've got to test if this works, and of course we've got to build the platform in. So edit track from this curve backwards is where we need to go. No. This way. Right. In fact, we probably should have left the curve in. Right. So from here this way. Right the way back to about there. And then here we're going to go flatten to foundation. All of this down to this new height. Kind of wanted to actually build the railroad first and then put the landscape and everything around it. This was not the most ideal way, doing it this way, but it is what it is. That's not right. Are you really not going to let me do it that way either? Okay then. In that case, I'm going to have to take this out. And then the way we're going to have to do this is... are you still... You're still at the right height. So you turn however much it needs to be. I think it's about that much. You can always fix that momentarily. Exit to the right, entrance on the left. Whoops. Okay, how many cars is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, we're close. We are very close. We can auto-complete at this end. And then over here, if we remove this section and remove this section, alright, we're going to have to level this out a little bit more. Preferably without exposing too much of the tunnel here. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is that 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Auto-complete at this end. Nice. We have ourselves a completed station. That's good news. These stations are actually quite close together. They're a lot closer together than I thought they would be. That's, again, not necessarily a bad thing. Some of the stations at some of the Disney parks are relatively close together as well, when you think about it. Fantasyland and Frontierland, especially, tend to be quite close together. Right. So then over here, I think we're okay going under that. It's a really good head chopper, that's for sure. Now the thing to check is, actually before I do that, what I really want to do is get rid of that and that. Apparently I can't control click, which is a bit frustrating. There we go. This random piece of land, I'm not sure what that's all about, but the thing I really want to check is... Okay, I can't check just yet. Well, I suppose I could. If I was just to build a rough return line that didn't care at all for the geography around. I was just to go autocomplete. You'll probably find a really bad route back. It's doing it though. There you go. Is that actually going over the... Oh wow. Okay. That's how it's doing it. Alright, well, you know what? It's crude, it looks awful, but... And I don't know what this little section here is doing, but... if I build it, what it means I can do is test the train and make sure that it is running as it's supposed to. Why can't I add an extra car? Have you screwed me, game? You've screwed me, haven't you? Over here, you've screwed me. Edit track. Don't you do that. Get you back over there now. Right. Delete. All the way over here. Got to delete this piece as well. Then we have to flatten all this. I'm going to do it right in there. Now I've got to be teleported all the way back over to... Oh, maybe not. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is an 8-car train. So we've got a bit of an S-bend going on here. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, so to fly back over here, yes, 8 cars. 2 trains, we'll just stick with the 1 for now. And we're going to open this. I'll just got an achievement. Oh no, I've got achievement progress. Sorry, achievement progress. Now I've never actually seen one of these trains run before. So I've no idea what to expect. I've also got no idea why it's not actually running at the moment. Game's unpaused. Is it because the station's closed? Alright, hang on. Station 70 is closed. We'll place an entrance, we'll place an exit, and then we should be able to open this properly. Where the hell am I going to put the entrance to this thing? I'll got to put the entrance first. I can't do the... Or can I? No. Alright, entrance is going to have to be somewhere over the back here, I think. Except there's nowhere I can put it, apparently. There. Yeah, fine. There. Exit is going to be right there. Now, ride must be open before station can be opened or closed. Right. Okay. Let's go back one. This station, operations, minimum, untick those. This one has priority pass. This station does not have priority pass. And again, we won't have a minimum, we won't have a maximum. Go back, open the ride. Station checklist must be complete. Okay, I've got to connect entrance to path. So I think this will actually work though. Will it? Is it going to work? Is the train going to go anywhere? No. If I do that though, let's just close the ride. Alright then. Looks like we're going to have to build a queue. All this just to check clearance. There's a very good chance that this will end up not being the finished article, which is going to be really annoying. We're going to have to build a really crude queue path just to find out whether or not this is actually going to work. There's a very good chance the answer will be no, it's not. That's not going to work. This will though. This will not be what the finished queue looks like. Not even close. And I'll build a really quick exit path, which I could have technically connected this to, I suppose. Done it now. Right. Do you fit the criteria? Close the ride. Overview. Are we working? We're working. Alright then. Go back. Open the ride. Ah, awesome. Train is on the move. Should we ride it? This is cool. I assume then there is a guest, a lucky guest who can sit in the cab. I am going to shift back a car though. Ah, so it's the ride itself that plays music. Oh, the lights come on. That's so cool. And the carriages have lights too. Oh, this is excellent. And it's echoing. Ah, that's so cool. I'm leaving this music. It actually sounds quite Western at this point as well. Oh, I love this. I probably sound like I'm having a really good time here, and it's because I am. To be fair, I am. This game is incredible. I might cover that bit of the tunnel up there as well, just so it is entirely underground, this section. Right, so the thing we got to watch out for is the stack chimney. Can that go underneath Manic Miner's track? Entering the station. I think we'll leave the station out in the open. I think we'll leave all the stations out in the open. Might as well. Means you haven't got to build these big ugly buildings over them then. One thing I want to check actually, if I go back to car number 1, does the speedo work? No. I would say a strong no on that one. Here we go. And any second now we should leave. I hope. Did I turn the minimum maximum waiting times off? Yeah. So we should just go. Any load. There we go. Okay, here we go. It looks like we might be okay. there's actually quite a lot of gap there. Oh. We are struggling up the hill. Might have to factor that in. Struggling uphill. It is quite a heavy train, to be fair. Have we cleared the station yet? Yeah. Okay. So we will have to bear that in mind. Heavy train means slow on slopes. Yeah, this is really slow. So I can compensate for that, actually. We'll go back one. We can compensate for that. Damn camera. I probably should turn that off. You can turn it off. I mean, I'm always criticising the camera. You can turn it off. I just never remember to. Again, this game's incredible. I don't want to be, for 1 second, make it sound like I'm accusing the game of being bad. It is not a bad game at all. This game is astoundingly good. Right, I reckon we could get away with doing that. And then have it slope up just a little bit more there. And then we can have just that connect up. Now hopefully we still have a good clearance there. And as this slope is then more gradual, the train should be able to combat it a little better. Although, do you know what? Because I can. Here, I'm going to have it start climbing up a teeny tiny bit as it turns. Like that. And then here. Like that. Up a teeny tiny bit more. And then here. Straighten out. Faster build that there. Loads of room. That might actually help the problem. Now the clearance here might not be great anymore, but I can always lift that piece of track up there. So let's reopen this and let the train start its epic journey once more. Is it leaving? Not yet. Why is it not going anywhere? I've also got it to don't block station, which is alright, that could work. Let's just do minimum 5. So that's now open. So I assume you're now loading. Actually, it's maximum that I need to have. 10. Right. And off you go. Your epic journey begins as you travel the globe on board the yet to be named, I think it's called the Somerset Railroad actually, but I might rename that. At some point the music starts. There it is. Oh, that sounded a bit weird. Alright, into the tunnel you go. We'll wait over here for it. There she is. Looking splendid. Right. You are climbing the slope as you leave, and I can already see that the smokestack is going to collide. That's quite loud. Bosh. Straight through. And it's slowed down again. So I guess the slope is always going to be bad, so we might as well put it back to how it was. Which was that, I believe. So it's always going to be slow climbing out of here, but that's fine. Alright then. So we might as well let the train continue on its epic voyage whilst we focus on the next piece of construction, which is going to be, first of all, smoothing this out a bit more. I'm going to turn off. Is there not a paint? There we go. Oh. Actually, what I want, really, is this style for all of this. I don't actually know what makes the train work. I don't know whether it's oil-fired or coal-fired or wood-fired. The tender would probably be a good place to check that, wouldn't it? Wood-fired. Just as I suspected. I'm a coal boy myself. I always think, I mean, steam's steam at the end of the day, but I always think if it's not fired by coal, then it's not a true steam engine. It's just not. It's an imposter. Even though I think wood burning actually came before coal burning. Still, I've said my thing. I stick to it. Alright, we'll fix the rest of the embankment in just a second. The next thing we need to do is paint the inside of all this tunnel. That's also incredibly important. Especially this left-hand wall. And probably the ceiling as well, actually. But the left-hand wall definitely, because I think the diorama is actually going to be on the right. Because then we've got loads of space in which to build it. Alright, and we'll just paint all this again. This little area here, I might leave that open, although I do need to cover the section under here. Can I do that? I can. That's good news. So yeah, we'll have to move all this as well. Alright, and then the final bit is under here. I want this whole section to now be underground. And not just underground, but deep underground. It's got to be as dark as the rest of the tunnel, otherwise it will stand out. There we go. We'll use the roughen tool on this. Whoop. This isn't Pandora. Let me get rid of that. I kind of like the idea of there being a little cavern there, actually. I do like that. It's got to look like there's loads of old abandoned mines everywhere. Right, so this is now going to take 5 hours in a day to climb the hill. But that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So long as the next train isn't waiting behind, we're fine. Okay, so as you can see, it's really nice and dark in here now, which is absolutely perfect for what we're going to do. Right, so next up, it's going to be dark, 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 and then this whole straight section here, we're going to have a diorama off to the right hand side. Let me just check my... that was not what I wanted to do. Let me come down here into the tunnel again. Okay, so yeah, round the corner here is absolutely fine, because it means the drop for Manic Miner is out of the way as well, which is good. So, first thing first, we need to get us some light in here. Is there not a further category of lighting? I thought there was like wall mounted and things like that. We'll get one of these. We will place it on the ceiling. Whoop. Just like that. We'll then do another one exactly the same. A bit further on. This is probably what's going to light the diorama as well. We will have lights within the diorama, but put lights on the ceiling, no one's going to see them because the roof of the carriage is going to be in the way. So it actually works out quite nicely. Okay, so we got all the lighting in. Next we need to dig the space for the actual diorama. Now I think all these lights are relatively evenly spaced. Relatively. Not perfect, but not terrible. So next up, terrain, push, and we're just going to dig out. Right, there's the drop of Manic Miner, so we're going to pull this one back a little bit. A bit more in fact. So this one we're going to go out this way. Quite a way. And there's the queue of Manic Miner. So we're not going to go quite up to the queue. About here is right, I would say. And then from here we're going to go straight out this way. Got to make sure it's relatively flat. It's not really, is it? That we've missed the... oh no, actually, it follows the slope of the tunnel quite well, I suppose. Right. And then down this end of things, here we're going to go out this way. Again, a fair bit. How's that looking? We can't intercept the queue. That's the main thing. We also kind of want it to be so that when you're in the queue for Manic Miner, you can't hear... oh, for God's sake. Damn camera. You can't hear what's going on in the diorama the other side of the wall. That is quite important. Stop doing that. I think that's what I'm aiming for. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming. For God's sake. It's very difficult to use the camera controls. Very difficult. Now something above there that's causing some problems. I think our tunnels are about to meet up. So if I can get... I swear, it's incredibly frustrating. This camera. There's a trick. I know there's a trick. I'm sure there's a trick. I can't believe there wouldn't be a trick. I'm not smart enough to know it, apparently. Right, so if I just dig this way, there you go, it broken through. So the light I was seeing there was probably this tunnel breaking through. Although I could be wrong. It might be the queue. Oh no, I don't think it would be. Right. Now I can go a little bit more crazy. So we kind of got an idea now as to how big this area is going to be. I can take this brush size up to something like 10 now, and then just dig all of this area here out. Pretty much like this. I think that's all of it. So it looks like it. Right, now we're going to flatten to foundation. And I'm going to use this as the guide. And everything's going to be initially, built to this height. Which does mean the track is going to lower below the level. Well, actually, it would be smarter to do it at this height. Yeah, be smarter to do it at this height, because then you start above the level and you come down to it, rather than you start at the level and go below it. So we just keep leveling all this out like so. How is our train doing? It's going at 5 miles an hour again. Ah, there it is. That's cool. You get to see that. Right, so this is fairly well lit now. It's almost too well lit, in fact. So once I've finished building this diorama, I'm going to take a couple of the lamps out. So what am I going to put in here? That's the bit that I haven't really thought through that much yet. We're going to start with scenery and animatronics. Not that one. Property. No, scenery theme. That's what I want. Western. So we've got loads of. We've got bandits getting shot and stuff like that. We've got an oil pump, which doesn't necessarily have to be pumping oil. It could be pumping water. So we'll stick one of these in. For sure. I think if we stick that in probably over this way actually, like that, and we'll spin it around. Actually, I think this way would work best, like so. The piston, will that be operating? It would be. Is the piston supposed to attach to this? It is, isn't it? And then I think there's a boiler somewhere. Or we use the belt drive. Where's the boiler? If I just go all in Western, close that. They're the boilers. Alright, so this attaches onto this. We'll have to move this into place manually. Okay, and then this will come across like this. Ah, they're moving in opposite directions. So in that case, the piston needs to connect on this side. We'll flip it over this way. Here comes the train again. Yeah, I'm not 100% convinced that the piston works connected. But I suppose if we just then bring it over like this, then the piston's turning the same way as the wheel. Just you can't then see the piston doing its thing. But I suppose that works. Right, back to scenery. There should be a pipe somewhere. Might have to make a pipe. Fashion one. There's a mooring bit. No idea what that's for. Poster board. Prospectors, pickaxes and stuff. That'll be important. A steam shovel. We've got one over by Bandito. Should we have one over here as well? We could. We could well do that. So let's stick you there, and then you on top, like that. I think that's relatively central. Got to make sure that the middle of this, or some of this, is on top of that. There we go. Where's the track? The track's over there. So it's not in the way. That's actually pretty good. Alright, we still need to fashion a boiler. Well, we got a boiler. We still need to fashion a pipe. Suppose we could have some TNT blasting in the corner as well. Some steamer trunks, that kind of thing. I think we could maybe use the girder to resemble a... we'll use the chimney. Let's see. That's a small boiler. Or we could just put the piston in like so. And then the chimney can go on top. And we'll put some smoke effects or something coming out of it. Advanced move. Like that. Like that. And like that. We'll give that a go. And then we need a firebox. Well, I mean, how big is this boiler? It's not as good. I don't think we need a firebox actually. I mean, that looks pretty convincing if you ask me. Why is there a coffin? Don't get that. Cowboy, 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 cowboy. Are there any animatronics that are just people? I have a feeling there aren't. Don't want jesters or anything like that. Idle pirate, that's not really going to help us. Confetti cannon, that's also not going to help us. More pirates. Are any that are just people? No. That's a shame. So we will have to just put random cowboys. So we can have one guy over here. Again, if I just position him first and then move him in now. can hear the miner rumbling overhead. Not necessarily a bad thing. This is supposed to be an artificial mountain after all, so it's annoying. I'm going to have to cover that with something because that will not do. So there's a cowboy leaning. If I just go back to all, can have a dynamite crate. So over here we're going to have sort of rocks, well, dynamite exploding and stuff like that. If I go into nature, rocks, desert. We're basically just going to build up loads of rocks in the corner. Kind of like so. And then we'll have an explosion coming out from behind the... Oh, special effects. That's totally irrelevant. Pyrotechnics. Explosion Western. Perfect. Where'd I put it? Why can't I find it now? Take you out. What does the normal explosion look like? No, we want a big boom. Like that. Now can you see that from the train? You can really, can't you? So what we actually want is it for it to be on the side lower down in here. Like that. As you can see, it fills the area with quite nicely, actually. Does that quite nicely. Do I want a fire in here? I don't think I want a fire in here. Water. We can have a... Don't want water jet, I want water spout. Yeah, we want water sort of cascading from the ceiling. Over at this side, I would say. Up here. Maybe even over here. Sort of embedded up in the ceiling over here. And that's why it's always being pumped. I think that might be a bit too vigorous, actually. Maybe if I use the small one instead. It's not quite enough. I think it'll have to do, though. Okay, so you need to move this way a bit, and then move up into position. Out a little bit. We gotta be able to see it to access it. That's what I'm concerned about. There we go. And then we'll have another one. We'll probably have a big one over here. The explosion goes off like that, and then water will start spraying. So actually, as well as pyrotechnics, we need ambience. We want dirt falling. And that's going to come from, you guessed it, the ceiling. We need to move in for this. It's going to be up, one up there, one here, one here, and then we want a water spout large to sit there. So right at the end of the diorama, there's going to be a big explosion, and then dirt's going to fall from the ceiling, and then the water's going to start pouring in, and that'll be the end of the diorama. What else have we got? We got smoke bursts, snow falling, no. Falling dry ice, no. Blowing snow dust, no. Blowing dirt. What does that look like? Is that constant blowing, or is that irregular? It sort of spurts it and then stops. So that'd be quite handy to have up on the ceiling as well, actually. Maybe have that right on top of where the train goes past. So as the explosion goes off, dirt falls right in front of the train as well. And then the water starts cascading in. That worked quite nicely. God, I hadn't realised how close these two tunnels actually were to each other. It's quite a near miss we've got going on there. There we go. So it gets a bit dusty and dirty at the end. Now we've got to find a way to fill this gap. It's going to be a bit tricky. Western. So a cooking frame would be quite cool. We can have that sort of here. Maybe have that down further over this way. Like that. A hitching post maybe. Dynamite crate, we've got to have one of them over here. It's got a light on it. It has. Alright, so we'll put a couple of dynamite crates. One there. One here. And then I think we'll also have one over here by the cooking frame. Because these people obviously love their TNT. And then we'll have a couple of closed dynamite crates. One here and then one over this way. I hear a train coming again. Here she comes. Doesn't she look beautiful? I love that train. I think that's a really nice looking train. Is it worth putting some track in? And having a train? My only concern is if you look how big this locomotive is, it fills the whole tunnel. And then you've got the whole thing of why is one train bigger than the other? It doesn't really add up that well. So it'll probably be better to not have the big train. Not here anyway. Maybe elsewhere in the town we could. Just not here. What else can we have? What is this mooring bit? What does it do? Oh, it's tiny. Oh! Is this what links the boiler up to the piston? It could well be. I think we'll put a fence around the blast zone as well. So they'll put something towards health and safety. They've erected a little fence to try and get people away from the blast radius. like so. And then here, like so, and then another one, like so. Okie dokie. Pickaxes, yeah, gonna have a lot of them. Really, in this section here, we want pickaxes kind of leaning against the wall. Maybe the shovel as well. What other animatronics? Oh, we have a tent. Wow, that's a big tent. That's the smaller one. I was thinking of putting a tent in for where they sleep, but that is far too big. A steamer trunk over here would be quite nice as well. Kind of like that. We'll have to move this a little bit. No, this. Like so. And then move this. Like so. And then move this. Like so. Right, anvil, no. Don't need doors. Do we get another cowboy? He's holding a gun. This one's covering. I assume this one's got a gun somewhere as well. Yes, he has. There's a cowboy that just tips his hat. Maybe if we have him standing like that. The rest have all got guns. Apart from this guy, who just kicks his heel. Maybe have him over here. Thing is, he's covering his mouth as well. Is this guy covering his mouth? He's not, so he's friendly. This guy over here is sort of snoozing by this. He is covering his mouth, but then he's not really doing anything else threatening, so you can get away with that. Right, anything else we're missing? A milk churn, I don't think we need one of those. Luggage, I don't think we need anything like that. Poster board. We could have one of these. Again, over in this little camp scene. So I think we're going to have three scenes. We're going to have the steam shovel and the pump. And then maybe a dividing wall or something. And then there's this scene, which is the mining camp. And then another dividing wall. And then the boom. The boom area. Where things get blown up. I think that'll work out quite well for us. A wagon, maybe? We could fit a wagon. We don't have horses, I've noticed. Which is interesting. That is quite interesting why there's no horses. I think we can fit this here though. If we stick it like that. What's this wagon stand? Oh yeah, that's way too big. Don't want bins or anything. Picnic canopy, that's probably going to be too big as well. Oh, actually that's quite nice. We can fit that over here by the cooking spot, so it protects the food from falling dirt. A TNT plunger is very important. Does it move? Oh, that's a shame. I'd say it'd be cool if you could have the plunger go down, and then the boom, and then all of the other effects that follow the boom. There's loads of crates here. If we pile some crates up on top of each other, kind of like that, and then we'll put a medium-sized one there. Wash tub. Suppose we can have a wash tub over here, or a water basin. That's way too big. We have a wash tub. Stick that in front of that. Okay. Now we've got to worry about lighting. So I go props, lights. We really want the oil lamps because they give us a lot of good natural light. we could find... Actually, we've got a steamer trunk here, haven't we? If we stick a light on the top of this... just like that. And then over here we can put a light on this. Or in front of it. Hang on a second. Let's start taking some of these ceiling ones out. This one, bye-bye. And as a result of that, this one is going to be moved a little so that it points more towards the actual explosion. So like this, and then this way, I think. Hang on, no, that way. It's red that I want. There we go. That's good. That looks nice. Okay, this one is actually lighting up almost perfectly. If we remove this, that's pretty good. Sort of subconsciously built that right in the middle of the right area. If we get rid of this one as well, and then this can be where the lamp goes. Oh, it's really annoying that I can't attach. In fact, I can if I just do this. For some reason, that's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. Put that like that. Now, can I select it? Yes, I can. It's actually not really on the right spot for this. If I bring it out this way a little bit and just plonk it on the floor here. It's not lighting up an awful lot, but it's doing enough to light up what needs to be lit up. Okay, and then the final thing I want to do, this light can go, because it's not pointing at anything other than a wall. So it's pretty damn dark in here now, which is good. I'm going to select all of these lights. Why won't it let me select them all? Am I pressing the wrong button? Hold control. No, only lets me select one at a time. Alright, well I want a yellowish colour. That's pretty good. So what's that? That's a good one actually, that colour there. It's all supposed to be lit by gas lamps. So we're going to make it look like it has been. And then finally, you there. I do think this explosion is a bit too excessive. I think what I'm going to do is point it a little more towards the back wall. Because you get too much dirt being chucked onto the train otherwise. That looks good. So if we have an explosion from the top, we're also going to need an explosion... we have an explosion from the bottom. We're also going to need an explosion from the top. You would think Explosion Western would come under the Western theme, wouldn't you? But apparently not. Alright, so that needs to come from almost exactly where the water then comes from. Okay, so there's an explosion from the bottom, and then there's an explosion from the top. And then the water will start falling. So make trigger sequence. Add trigger. Drag this all the way through into the tunnel. At least we've only got to do this big drag once, because 2 will just be positioned straight after 1. Right, so I think the people at the front might miss the water effect, but I think the explosion should happen here. Connect objects. We want the one from the bottom first, and then we want the one from the top. Like that. Confirm. Hang on. Connect objects. You. Hang on. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Connect objects. We need the boom at the bottom. There we go. And then we also want the boom from the top. Okay, I see what it's doing. Boom at the bottom, confirm. Connect. Boom from the top. So now this will trigger immediately. This one will be 0.5 seconds afterwards. Okay, here comes the train, so we should get to see it in action. There we go, boom boom. And then we want... This is going to be fun. You. I've literally just remembered if you press and hold control it does it exactly when you want it to. You, and you. You go 1 second after, 1 second after, 1, and 1. And then this happens 3 seconds after. Okay, so track trigger, explosion, explosion, throws the dirt out, and then the water starts falling. Now this one, is there a, yeah, play for, we'll go something like 15 seconds. That didn't trigger for some reason. There we go. And then the water starts flooding in. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So that's pretty good, I would say. Let's have this also trigger for something like 10 seconds. Same with this one. Play for 10 seconds. Same with this one. Play for 10 seconds. And then the two big ones will play for something like 5 seconds. So was it? That was that one, and then this one. Play for 5 seconds. Trigger it all. So actually, even with the timer on high, these ones do. Actually, these ones do. The little ones don't. Okay, I actually quite like that. I think that looks pretty damn cool. Let's test it from a distance. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks really good. Okay, diorama, kind of done. It's not the best in the world. I'm not going to deny that. It kind of does its job. It looks authentic, I suppose. Reasonably authentic, which is the goal. Ooh, I can always chuck some more rocks and stuff in the future to make it look more Western. Remember, I've got it in T camera mode at the moment. As I mess up again. There we go. And then if I come down this end and make sure it's all painted, not that it matters at the bits that you can't really see. So the left hand side is basically a write-off in this tunnel. There's nothing happening on the left hand side. Again, that could change in the future, but at this moment in time there is absolutely nothing happening off to that left hand side. It's all happening on the right where the diorama takes place. Just got to finish painting all of this. One thing I'm not particularly looking forward to, which we might have to do next actually, is the triggers and all of that, and the scenery for Manic Miner. There's a lot there that we're going to have to do. And again, there's no mining animatronics. Well, I did forget to put a pick and shovel, but then I suppose at this point in time they're not really doing it with a pick and shovel, are they? They're doing it with pure dynamite. So that's maybe not something that we've missed. Okay, I need to find out why these trains are stopping where they are. Why is this train... Okay, this train is stopped because this train is yet to clear the block. That's really annoying. The fact that 4 train... I mean, even here, this train's currently waiting to leave the station. This train is coming... Alright, do you know what? We're going back to 4. We're going back to 4. I can't deal with it anymore. Also going to save this really quickly, because I haven't saved at all. And that could be quite dangerous. Has it saved? Yep, it's saved. Right, resume. So when you're sitting here, you'll see the train go along here and you'll see it go into the tunnel. You have no idea what goes on inside this tunnel, and then you come out over here, or you see the train come out over here. In terms of the supports and bandita, we haven't affected it too much, which is good. This is not going to exist in the future, don't worry, because this is ugly. That's the point. It goes really slow up the hill. Does that mean it goes quite fast down it? Does it go faster than it's supposed to? Or is it one of these things where the acceleration might not be great, but the brakes are really good? That's the safe way of doing it, I suppose. Yeah, look, 5 miles an hour. All the way down. How dull. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to speed up time here so we get to see the train coming round into the station. Welcome Plaza. Welcome Plaza is this area here. This area over here hasn't been themed yet. This area has been. I might put picnic tables or something over here because I think that would look quite nice. And then this area here all the way up. This bit here is Somerset Avenue, but this whole area, including this bit around the lake, is Central Plaza. Which is where we might have other forms of transport. Once they bring chairlifts in, gondolas, sky rides, whatever you want to call them. Once they bring them in, we will have one of them going across the park between City of the Future and probably Valley of the Nile. Right, ride camera. There are a lot of seats. Each car holds 24 people, and we've got 8 cars. That's what, 192? 192 people per train. We're going to be transporting a lot of people around. But here we go. I'm actually going to go to the back car. There you go, car number 9. So you get to see the diorama from the rear of the train. So far so good, I'd say. I like Manic Miner. I didn't like it at first, but I think, looking at it now, I think I've done a pretty good job of it. I'm quite happy with it. I think overall it's got a really, really good feel to it. It's just extreme enough that it can be considered more of the thrill side of the park in terms of the ride roster, but it's just gentle enough that it can be considered a roller coaster that kids could ride. Here we go, lights on. And then we're going to travel through here. This is a very Western sounding piece of music, which is awesome for going through here. There's the explosion, the dirt falls, and the water is now cascading. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, we might have to move the trigger a little bit. Not going to increase the timer, but I'm going to move the trigger. So I think that'll work better. And that's the train entering the station. These are long trains. And there's that random section there where the lights turn off and then on again. I suppose that adds to the thrill. In fact, there's a couple of areas here where the lights turn off and then on again. So I might have to lift the land up a little bit higher. Turns off here anyway, because we come out the tunnel. I like this. I think this is really good. Edit trigger. So in here we just need to move it a fraction further. Something like that. It doesn't need to be set off when the engine is level with this, just when the passenger carriages are. So we could go there. So it might mean if you're in the front carriage you won't get a view of the water falling, but if you're in the back, because sometimes with rides like this the action only really happens if you're in the first few carriages. If you're at the back you sort of see the remnants of it. So it'd be nice to have a little something for the people in the back as well. And I actually quite like the look of the diorama through the carriage window. The little water spout here, the pump, which we do need to twiddle with the land for. Hopefully we don't reveal Manic Miner behind. There we go. So the pump just about fits. Oh, that's what I was afraid of. There we go. So the pump just about fits inside the tunnel. And then there's water piling into there, which is then pumped out again using the pump jack. Awesome. I really like the music that's playing as well. It's awesome music. Okay, so here the land needs moving some more. This area especially, let's go with a slightly bigger brush. There we go. That should make it nice and dark inside the tunnel. I'll do a little bit more over here. I like that. That's a really good rocky scape as well. I wish I had the skills to be able to sculpt the land to actually look like a real life place. I haven't got those skills, unfortunately. But yeah, I like the fact the station is over here. It's hidden a little bit from the area, but that's fine. That's not a problem, because you know you're in the area, so it's not really like it's a hidden mystery or anything. Bandito's working very nicely. I'm going to put some animatronic bandits in the queue. Maybe on the outside of the bank. Right, recruiting you to join. That would be cool. Right, how long have I been streaming for? Coming up to 2 hours. I'm trying to think what to do next. I suppose what I should do is close the railroad and demolish all of the track here. All of this. To there. Done. Right, with that all shut, I can then go into paths, and I can get rid of all of this path. Which is cool. Whoop. Let's come back a little bit. There we go. Alright, we're going to do some terraforming here to smooth this land out a lot better. I'm also debating what I'm going to do with this queue. I could actually, here, thinking about it, I could actually have boarding and alighting on the same side. So if I select this, there. Enter and exit, both from the same side. Done. Now if I go flatten to foundation, smaller brush, level all this out. Oh, it's really annoying it's not going to let me do that bit. Basically means I've got to lift all this up again. Which I can do. Like especially... whoops, not that bit. All this section here will get smoothed out anyway. I can do a little bit of it now. There we go. And it all needs painting and stuff as well. Lift all this bit up. Like that. Push all this bit here back. In fact, here we can lift all this back up to almost how it was. It's going to be a bit of an overhang. But, as I always say, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you make it look nice, then, you know, it's fine. It's not a problem. The main thing here is to try and cover up as much of the track and the supports of Minor as possible. We can use rocks to do the rest, and I will be putting rocks around the majority of the track. In places like here, where the track would otherwise be exposed. And all along this section here as well, I'll be putting rocks to build it all up. Almost making a fake mountain out of the artificial rocks. There we go. I think it's actually one... There's 3 bits of Manic Miner that I really like. This is the first bit. The second bit is probably this section here. And then the third bit is the station. I think the station fits quite nicely. We will put some walls or supports or something down here. But yeah, it's looking good. Right, I keep distracting myself. I do apologise. Over here at paths, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Back to this, flatten to foundation, and we'll just do across the rest of here. If we flatten all this bit out here as well, up to About there, in fact. That looks pretty damn good to me. Because then what we can do is grab a path. Is it this one? It is this one. Width, we'll do 6. Select a grid. Curb on ground path we want to turn off. Why won't it let me build from here? Well, let me build from there. It won't let me build from there. It's a bit strange. What if I do this? No? Not having it. Okie dokie. I turned curbs off, didn't I? Railing. In fact, we haven't got railing. There we go, railing on elevated. That's what we need to turn off. Something not right with the landscape here. Maybe it's just the way that I built it. Yeah. Alright, we'll build out like this. We'll turn that off. So you can come through like this, curve around like this, and head straight up to the station. And this path will terminate if I build like this, like this, like this, and like this, and join it up again somehow. Let's take all this back actually. I'd say here we turn and we go down widthwise. I don't know, something like that. It's not the nicest looking thing in the world, but it'll do. And then here, this can join up. Just like that. I think what we actually need is the path to come around this way. Let me show you what I mean. If I smooth this out like that, increase this size to 6 again, and then here have it come out like this. That looks pretty good. This should all be flat. So if I just smooth all this out for now, I'll lift the land back up again in a second. Can I really not get rid of this? Yeah. Easy. I don't know why it has to be difficult like that, but turns out if you try, it's not that difficult at all. Alright, so with that, I can put this entrance at this end, maybe, or we'll move it over a couple. There. Okay, and then Q, I'll choose this type. Now for this, I do want railing on elevated. Okay, and then we'll come around this way. And then along this way like this. Not there. Along this way like this. that, and then back this way. Connect it up here maybe? Or should we go over here? I think we should go over here. Make it a little bit wider for this last section. Oh, there we go. That's good. Like that. So there you go. It feels like it's crammed in a little bit, but that's kind of the idea. It's supposed to have been crammed in a little bit. And then we can pull all this land back up. Along here and along this little bit here. Push this bit down again a touch. Like that. And then along here, and we'll push this bit down a touch. Like so, and then along the back here. There we go. I think that looks quite good. I don't think I could do anything about this bit of land here, unfortunately. I'll have to just make do with that. And then along the back bit here, we can just sort of, oh, maybe not there. If we can pull it outwards without it going upwards, that would cover that bit nicely. I suppose we could put some rocks and stuff along it to cover it up a bit better. But there we go. Why can't I open you? There are no complete stations. You have to be complete. This station. Yeah, this station's complete. Is this station complete? Move entrance, move exit. They're all connected up. That one's connected up. That one's connected up. Why is it not? I don't get it. Oh! I do get it. Because I deleted the track. I was going to test it again. But we can't. Not for the time being anyway. Wow, I'd forgotten how tall Bandito was. Actually, the Cobra roll is nearly as tall as the bell tower. Which is quite something. I do need to finish this building at some point as well. Shall we do that? Whilst I remember. And the timing in here is all off. So I think we need to change this. Let's put them 30 seconds apart. What happens if I change that? I don't know what that does. Minimum time will be 15 seconds. Maximum time will be 90 seconds, shall we say? Alright, let's close and test again. I hope that keeps them far enough apart now. Although it doesn't in testing, to be fair, actually. Although the minimum... Maybe this should be 30 as well, then. Otherwise it doesn't work. We'll see about that. I mean, the first block section after the launch is quite big. It would have perhaps made more sense to put a block section, so you go under the clock tower, up into a block section, and then do this bit here. I don't know. Same with Manic Miner, actually. The first block section after the chain lift is quite big. But then the trains should be far enough apart that it doesn't really become an issue. Who knows? What I do know is this mountain does need to be a lot taller at some point. We have to lift all this up. Bandito Station, let's finish it. Or at least try and make it look more like a completed building. As long as the facade looks finished, then the rest of the building could look unfinished and still kind of work. So we need to edit you. Walls. building set Old West. In fact, is that what these are? Natural wood. Is natural wood part of this? Yeah, natural wood. Okay, so we need to put... we also need to make sure that this is like that. That's the wrong direction. That's the right direction. So you go like this, you turn like that, like that, like that, and then you turn and go there. And then I suppose for this bit of the building, you come down slightly and just build across the front like that. I think that's kind of this section done. Do need to build the rest of this along like so. Like that, and then this piece like that. All of this I'm going to demolish. All of this bit here as well, and then all of this back section. Like that. I will leave these walls in place because they might be actually used for something. So from the ground, yeah, even if this section here doesn't slope down, I'd say it still looks good. The only other thing I would change perhaps is take this bit out, so that you can see this part of the building here. And maybe that would mean excuse me, maybe that would mean doing something with this. I don't know. But yeah, from here like that. Right. Pitched roof. I've got to see what this is. Wood tile. Is it this one? It looks like it could be. It's not that one, it's this one. Nope, not that one either. This one? Yeah. There we go. And then over this side, it needs to be a flat roof, which I suppose we have with this type of flooring. We could do it dropping it down one actually. Maybe like that. Like so. And then put a piece outside like that. Perhaps not the best way of doing it, but it's also not the worst way of doing it. We do need to put an extra wall piece in there, and then we need to cap off this piece of the roof as well. Like so. Like so. Right, back to the walls. Wall pieces, scroll down. Which one is it? It's this one, is it not? Yes. So I need to put this piece in like that. And then over here, I'll just use these pieces for this. Like that, and then here, whoops. Like that, and like that. Right. And then finally, we'll put some windows and stuff on here as well so it doesn't look weird. Because that is quite a blank canvas otherwise. We'll stick this piece in exactly like that. Right, have I missed any bits out of the roof? Don't think I have. This area here, is there anything inside it? There is not. In that case, I'll just stick a bog standard flat roof on it. Alright, and then here, probably the same. In fact. And then down here for the store, I will jazz it up a little bit. With the roofs, probably go for something a bit like this, maybe. Like that, and then here it's going to be extended like this. Like this, except I've got to delete those pieces because I put them in the wrong damn place. Try again, shall we? Okay, and then here we need to put this piece in. Except it's not that size. Is it this size? It is. Phew. Right, and then here it's all of these. Like that. And like that. What's gonna go in the middle, I wonder? Oops, roofs. Oh. There's not actually anything I can put apart from this. So I suppose I could just do that. That fits quite well, actually. Okay, and then walls. All pieces. Scroll down. This one? It's not that size. It must be this size again. Yeah. That's cool then. Alrighty. Over here, we're going to extend these wall pieces down. I think we could just use this size. Like that, and then all the way along like this. If I remember rightly, I believe I lowered this down like this so that the paths wouldn't conflict. Because I didn't know at the time that there was a keyboard shortcut for that. But actually, having the store raised up like this, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It works well. It looks nice. It's a bit different. Different's always good. got the rest of the path here, and then on the other side through here, if I go down a little bit, there's the queue line. Actually, that was the last bit that I really wanted to check, is where exactly the queue line goes once it gets into here. So the priority line just joins up again. The main queue line carries on a bit further. This bit further bit here, I think I'm going to cut short. Queue, I think it's that style. Untick all these for this. So minimum thickness. I think it's just going to go across like that. Reason being, if I build a maintenance shed and everything on here, plus this door is going to move over. So that is going to be deleted. And this here is going to be deleted. This door is then going to be moved. Not like that. This door is going to be moved to there. Okay, which then means this wall is going to be deleted. And this wall here is going to be deleted. This railing here is going to be deleted. This is going to be deleted. And then all of this section here. Whoops. And that bit there, and then all of this wall. The reason being is the car needs way more space than it currently has. So we are going to have to dip into this area a little bit. Yeah, I think once we get under here, all of this wall is going to have to go. I'm a little concerned as to what I'm going to do where the overbank is. At this point, because it kind of does have to just stop. Reason being is the path slope down the other side of that. But at least up to here, we have this extra space that we can now operate in, which I think is quite cool. It does mean we're going to have to rebuild at this bit slightly, which is not going to be easy for me here. Yes, I mean, if I turn that, change the grid size, I can make it work like this, I suppose. Like that. And then rotate this around. Like that. And then rotate it around again. Like that. Yeah, that works. And then here, this just extends out like that, and then here, this extends across like so. The reason all this is important is it means first and foremost we've got more space down here now, as I've already said. Did I put an extra wall on the back there? Don't think I needed to, actually. We got extra more. That doesn't make sense at all. We've got extra room down here. Second of all, it means I can add a maintenance facility at the start of the ride rather than at the end and have to cram it in. Because it doesn't work at the end anyway, because it will go right on top of the queue path and probably get in the way of that. But yeah, it means essentially I can have a switch track, a bit like, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do, a bit like on Saw the Ride. There's a switch track. I can have like that here, have this as a turntable, or even maybe not that bit there actually, but here have it as like a turntable. That'll work quite nicely. And maybe have a screen in front there. We've got the screen here that was confusing the heck out of me last time around. I'm going to demolish that, and the wall mount. And we'll put it here. So even as you're stopped here, you could be watching something on the screen, and that should hopefully entertain the guest. I mean, in the game it won't, but in real life it would. I hope. You'd imagine so, wouldn't you? You'd kind of want to know why not if it didn't. Right. Flat roof. In fact, the smartest way of doing it would be to do this. Duplicate. Like this, like this, like this. I mean, I could, in theory, move the queue path out a tile if I really had to. I think that would work. So then I could put a bit more cattle penning maybe at the top. We'll have to see about that. I need to put some kind of railing here though, something. Otherwise it wouldn't really look that great. Yeah, okay. The last thing to do then is to call this done. And then to come in here and just push the land down a bit more here so that you can't see it as you drop into the basement. And again, as more scenery is released for the game, I'll be able to fill this area a little bit more, so it's not just a blank space. Then it will actually become something a bit nicer. I haven't just interfered with the tunnel there, have I? I hope not. I wouldn't have thought so, but you never know. You never know. Alright then, I think that will do for this stream then. I think that, yeah. I'm quite happy with what we've done. I'm quite happy with what we've done. I'm going to have a little ride through of the rides again, Bandito and Manic Miner, just to make sure that we haven't interfered with too much in doing the changes. This is all looking good. I'll probably finish this building off camera, to be honest, just so that it's in a better state, and then we can start looking at next time. Maybe adding a couple of flat rides in this area and building out the main square a bit more. Besides that though, I mean, from this angle, if you were to get right down peep view and look up, you can kind of see that the building just ends, but I suppose even in the real world, if that back section isn't necessary, they won't build it. The building looks really grand from the front, which is the whole point. It looks very grand from the front actually, I'm quite pleased with that. We need to put extra windows and extend the porch roof over. But then the sides and the back can be quite empty, and you get away with it. Right, I'm going to leave the stream on this view. I think this is quite a nice view of the bank. No one joined the stream, unfortunately. If you're watching this on YouTube, I think I'll be streaming this series Thursday evenings, starting sometime between 7 and 9. But we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. So if you're watching this on YouTube, check me out on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Majeffries. I always tweet when I'm about to stream. Sometimes it's sort of 5 minutes in advance. Sometimes it's 10. You never know. But yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube, give me a subscribe and give me a thumbs up on the video if you're enjoying this video, and of course if you're enjoying the series. At some point in the future, I'm going to take these streams and put them into time lapses and upload those to the YouTube channel as well, so that if you don't want to watch the full 2-hour stream or whatever it is, you can still get to see what's built. If you're watching this on Twitch on playback, make sure to hit this on hit the follow button so you'll see when I'm streaming next. As I say, go check me out on Twitter and follow me there so you can see when I'm streaming. And apart from that, thank you very much everyone who has watched this in whatever formats. I'm going to tab out of the game, which hopefully isn't going to affect anything. Doesn't look like it has. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and until next time, I will see you soon.